There has been so much Fyre Fest 2 news and drama that's come out over the last couple weeks. So much, in fact, that I have not been able to keep up with editing my reactions to them in pace with the news coming out. One aspect of this particular that is outdated now, but I still think is really fascinating, is the girl who was approached by Fyre Fest to DJ for them, who turned them down and basically spilled the tea on the back end of a lot of these negotiations, and I think it's fascinating and hilarious. But we are so far past that now that Fyre Fest 2 is not only indefinitely postponed, but the entire brand is trying to be sold off. That being said, I was almost entirely done editing my reaction to all of her videos when the news moved on, and I do think the content is funny on its own, so I still want to present that, but it wouldn't make any sense to put it out now without the added context that, yes, I understand this is outdated, but it's still funny on its own. All these Fyre Fest videos I've done have been clip outs of live stream react content that I'm doing over on Twitch, and when I had done that stream, I was actually still using my older mic that doesn't sound as good, so the rest of this video is going to sound a little bit worse. I apologize for that. Going forward, all my videos should be using this microphone, but I do apologize for the audio drop-off for what you're about to see. That being said, here it is. New Fyre Fest 2 information. There is a supposed performer who turned down performing at Fyre Fest 2, who has talked a little bit about it. She said she didn't sign an NDA, she can talk about all this stuff, but she has provided documentation, emails, things like that. I think I don't think anyone was questioning that she was invited to perform, but I guess it is technically alleged. We'll see. I don't know. We're going to watch this video about it from Good Morning America, and then I'm going to look up her actual TikToks.
Billy McFarland is teasing a major announcement today and insisting Fyre Festival 2 is on, but you're about to hear from a DJ who turned down an invitation to play because she thought Fyre 2 would be a waste of her time.
Francesca Keller tells ABC News she was invited to Fyre 2 after one of the organizers saw her behind the decks at New York clubs performing as DJ Donna Francesca.
Fyre Festival, the account, DM'd me and asked me if I wanted to play for their festival.
Initially flattered, Keller says she became skeptical.
He basically framed it as a bunch of beach clubs that they're taking over in Mexico. I asked a bunch of questions. He seemed surprised to hear so many questions from me. He told me that the other artists haven't been giving him any kind of a pushback.
Jessica Keller says she was happy to decline the invitation to DJ at Fyre Festival 2.
My theory is that if the festival even happens, if they can get this amount of money, it's going to just be a really chill, boring little beach club moment with some people. I don't think it's going to be anything interesting, and therefore that would be a waste of my time.
We're also like 2 weeks past when he was supposed to announce the full lineup, so, you know, we'll see. Some people were like kind of clowning her in the comments about like, I don't know, declining. Yeah, like one of the top comments here, like, who even are you? It's like, bro, what the fuck do you mean, dog? Like you don't have to be a household name to be in the right to turn down Fyre Fest 2. I'll play her videos first, and then I'm gonna talk about the discourse around her videos, which I just think it's insane. I think we've so much lost the plot. I'm convinced commenters online are not real people.
I am one of the artists who declined an offer from Fyre Festival 2 to perform, and here's what I know.
I was reached out to by Billy's partner named Mike Falb. I had a lot of mutual friends with him, and then I found out that my friend used to live with him. So I called him and I said, is this guy legit? He said that he was legit, and also that he would call Billy from jail all the time while they lived together, which is hilarious. But also, what is Billy plotting from jail? He should be plotting paying people back, not making new festivals. They gave me a pretty lousy offer, which would be flights and hotels are covered, but there's no artist fee. And if it's a shit show, I'm basically left with nothing. So I said,
I don't care how small of an artist you are. It is insane to be putting on a festival and not paying your artists. Like, even if it's a small, tiny artist, you would pay the artist like a performance fee. That's insane. It's not like, okay, even if it was a big festival, they like Ultra Coachella, they still pay the artists, even the small acts. But like, it's you can't even farm clout off of this. Like, it's not even like exposure. It's like, hey, do you want to be a part of potentially one of the biggest train wrecks in entertainment history, coming off of the very controversial and not very well liked Fyre Fest 1? Do you want to be associated with that for no money, like a free flight in a hotel room, and then like having to perform your your labor as a DJ for untold amounts of hours, all for free, for the privilege of being associated with Fyre Fest 2. And by the way, if this festival goes terribly, your name is forever attached to that as someone who co-signed it by the act of performing at it. All for no money, by the way. That is fucking crazy.
Said no thank you to that. If there's money involved, get back to me. I'm going to assume they had a hard time finding anyone because they did come back to me. They offered me a small fee on top of that. So I got on a call with the guy. I actually recorded our entire call on photo booth from my computer. If you want me to make a part 2, I can include it. I asked him a ton of questions. I said, why would the Mexican government deny that you're throwing a festival here? Obviously, judging by the first one, I have a lot of fears about this one. Inevitably, I'm sure most of what you're having to do with your time is defend yourself. And he told me that I actually asked the most questions out of everyone. He seemed kind of annoyed by that. To which I...
You know what's crazy? Lambasting someone for asking a lot of questions for the sequel to the Fraud Festival. Like that. What? How do you know it's a scam again? When I asked questions, the scam man was like, why are you asking so many questions about my scam? Hey, I have an idea. I'm going to hold a festival and try to make money. I want you to be there and perform for me, but fun fact, I'm not paying you. You're totally doing this for free. What say you? Exactly. Don't ask questions, just do what I say. You don't understand. If you start asking questions about the scam, you're going to find out it's a scam. What are we doing?
I said, good for me. Then I got a formal offer and I said, thank you, but I need to see who the other artists are before I agree to anything, because my rule is if I don't recognize any of the lineup.
Okay, I don't know how well this is actually showing up on here, like how clear this is. I did look at this. There's like so little information on here. Like it doesn't actually, I don't think it says like the actual lodging. All it says is luxury accommodations. An address for the hotel of these luxury accommodations? Like, there's so little information on this flyer, considering this is supposedly like an offer letter. There's not much on there. There's a whole section for the vibe. It's like, thank you for describing the vibe to me. I would have preferred if you described my compensation.
But I need to see who the other artists are.
Okay, so this is the part that like is drawing some controversy.
I said, thank you, but I need to see who the other artists are before I agree to anything, because my rule is if I don't recognize any of the lineup, I'm not going to go. I need to at least know someone who's performing.
So people went crazy on her for that. They were like, no one's ever heard of you, so why are you too good to perform at a festival if you don't recognize the names? And it's like, because she's a small artist who doesn't have any sort of like protections. Like she doesn't have an agency or management to like sue them if this is fraud. Like if you're going to involve yourself in Fraud Fest 2, you at least need to know that like if Diplo signed on, it has to be legitimate. But if you look at the lineup and everyone else is someone you've never heard of, that's a red flag even if no one's ever heard of you. It's not like this is some small indie festival when they're like, hey, it's all going to be like no-name artists, like we're just trying to do something small off the muscle. That's not the framework. Like you wouldn't perform at some massive giant festival that's touting itself to be like world-class entertainment if you don't know a single person on the lineup, especially because she's not just a person. She's works in the music industry. She's a DJ. She's going to know a lot more names than the average person. So if she's looking at the lineup as like, I've never heard of any of these people, that means she's never even like heard of them at the other local clubs in New York that she's probably playing at, which means that there is no one credible on this lineup. It's so crazy that people went in the comments and were angry at her for saying that. Maybe it's because she's like, that's my rule, but she's speaking about this particular situation, not like every time she gets booked to play anywhere. Crazy. Let's dive into the wasteland of the TikTok comment section. Lemma, who even are you? No one. That's the point. It's a red flag. That's why I asked. What'd they say back? Okay, at least some people in here are sensible. Good for you for moving on from these trolls. How embarrassing for them. Missed a chance to get your name out there. This person is such an idiot. I am not a troll. Okay, well, maybe they're trolling. This is an excellent point. I'm glad we delved into the TikTok comment section for a little bit. As an event producer, the fact that they are still in the talent outreach stage when the event is less than 2 months terrifies me. Yes, that's crazy. That's also a red flag that at this stage you don't have your artists locked down yet. That is crazy. Everything about this is a massive red flag. Netflix is gonna want that video recording of the call. That's where you make your money. Yeah. Congrats on actually doing your due diligence. Okay, at least not everyone in the TikTok comment section is insane. So she made like two more parts. So I want to check this out. This is her TikTok username, by the way.
Fyre Festival 2, Part 2. I forgot about this part of the story. I was at APC checking out, buying some jeans. I'm checking out with this cashier. I was with my parents who were like, what is this thing about Fyre Festival? And the guy goes, oh, Fyre Festival? And I said, yeah, they actually asked me to perform. And the guy says to me, they asked me too, my cashier at APC. And I said, what? And he said he's not gonna do it, but they asked him, because I think he said he's a musician. But it's like, how are they finding us? So then I did get a lineup list. I wasn't familiar with any of the people on that lineup. One girl I'd seen DJ at Soho Grand years ago, but otherwise I didn't recognize anyone. I'm feeling like it would be okay to post that lineup because none of the emails, number one, I didn't sign anything. Number two, none of the emails have like a disclosure or anything that says anything in this email stays between us. It's pretty much they gave it to me freely. So I actually thought the lineup has been announced, but it hasn't. But I don't want to get sued.
Do you want to play Fyre Fest 2? That's the opening DM from Fyre Festival. Do you want to play Fyre Fest 2? This is a crazy message. Are we for real? Are we scamming? That's a perfect response. And I think this is just clearing up the weirdos who were like lambasting her for turning down such an amazing opportunity.
And myself. The point of my video was not to say that I'm some big shot. I can't believe they asked me to play. I am just a local New York DJ. I am no one famous. I don't make music. You're not supposed to know who I am, and that's the point. I think they're asking very small random people to play there. If you are a DJ and you are in a position where you are working with scam artists who went to jail for a mass scam festival, it is very important to make sure they're not scamming you twice. So the reason my rule with Fyre Festival is to make sure they have a real lineup was because it was a complete blowout last time. If they have a lineup with bigger artists, that means they're dealing with people who have agents, which means those artists are getting protected. Those artists have writers. They have contracts of making sure these artists get paid, they are protected, their safety, all of that kind of stuff. I don't have a manager or an agent, so I'm not getting anything like that. But if I see big names, then I know, great, this is legit. If this is a flop, perhaps I will be paid back if I have to buy an international flight and a hotel and all of that. Plus, they're selling $1 million tickets. You'd hope, for the sake of the people buying tickets, there's some named artists, not just little old me.
$1 million ticket. And an excellent point that she brings up in this, I don't see talked about enough or at all right now, is she admits she doesn't even make music. She's a DJ. Like, yes, it's cool to have, like, DJs in part of the lineup. Like, DJ sets can be cool, especially for, like, after parties or, like, you know, other things like that. But if you're going to a festival where there are $1 million tickets sold, I would hope that the people performing there made original music. Like, no shade to this girl, and she's not shading herself, but that's an excellent point to bring up. It's like, I don't even make music, dude. Like, why would you pay $1 million for a DJ set?
Me. Ask any female DJ you know. We are working in a field that is extremely male-dominated. It's very easy to get taken advantage of. Please, just trying to give the tea, but people just want to bully me. So maybe do your own research about Fyre Festival. I'm here to
Yeah, I wonder how many of the commenters don't even know what the fuck Fyre Fest 1 is. People are like, who are you? Who even are you? Why would you turn down such a good opportunity? She doesn't know a good opportunity when it slaps her in the face. By golly, if I was offered to play Fyre Festival, I would have told them I'd do it for free. They would have offered me a plane ticket, and I would say no thank you. I would love to be in the presence of you, Mr. Fyre, and you, Mr. Festival, and you, Mr. 2.
My journey in this story was short, but I will just provide a little bit of information. Once again, I'm just a local New York DJ. I was shocked when they asked me to play. I was given the official offer to perform after I'd spoken to the guy on the phone on March 12th. It said that this offer expires on March.
Okay, actually, this is Interesting. Somebody noted this agreement stayed 2014. So did she receive this last year? And she's just now talking about this? Want to send over an offer for Fyre Fest 2 below. We've also included our one sheet for artists attached to this email as well. Blank USD landed plus ground hotel ride participation in at least one mutually agreed upon activity or excursion. Part of the offer is to participate in at least one mutually agreed upon activity or excursion, like snorkeling, ATV, jet skis, yoga, etc. You can't do multiple. If you want to do snorkeling and ATVs, you gotta pay for one of them. You either gotta pay for the snorkeling or you gotta pay for the ATVs. You can't do both for free. What do you think we are here? We'll be looking for 3 posts across socials leading up to the event. Expiration is dated March 13th, 2024 at 6 p.m. Eastern.
March 13th, and that they aim to announce all the artists on March 15th. It's April 10th. That was a month ago. Their offer expires on...
So it's weird that this is dated 2024. We're in 2025, right? Yeah. Yeah. So it is weird that it's dated 2024. Either way, this makes them look bad. Either they got the year wrong on this, which is crazy. Proofread your offer letters. Or it does say that the expiration for the offer is March 13th, and they're going to announce the lineup on March 14th. If this is correct, and this was a year ago, that means that they expected to announce the artist a year ago, and it is now past March 14th of 2025, and they still have not announced a single artist, I guess, except for Antonio Brown. Either way, this makes them look terrible.
And that they aim to announce all the artists on March 15th. It's April 10th. That was a month ago, and nothing's been announced. I also thought it was very strange that the invitation expired in a day. In our call, it was supposed to be in Isla Mujeres, and when I got the email invitation, it was in Playa del Carmen. So that was another red flag. The other thing that made me hesitant is that when I asked him what hotel I would be staying at, he couldn't tell me. He eventually was able to tell me, but this was after the expired artist invitation was given to me. Do you think Mike Falb's a good guy? Maybe. It's nice. I don't think he's trying to ruin his reputation, and I'm not trying to ruin his. I just think we're dealing with Billy and Fyre Festival, which has a horrible reputation. There is one thing and one thing only that made me actually consider taking it. Mike told me that Lost Nights is producing it. This is also online. Lost Nights does Mayan Warrior, Solomon DJs with them, Kind of Music. They throw amazing events and parties all over the world. It was like, wow, that's pretty good producer. And they're still signed on. So that's really the only thing that gives me a little bit of faith. I think the problem is that people don't trust Billy. Mike, you're doing your best, but don't let Billy scam you too. They're not getting the money they want. The locations are falling apart because people don't want to be associated. I do think they had a good plan, but I just don't think it's feasible. And he said I can share these artists with you, but I thought it was public. Why didn't I have to sign an NDA? I'm not going to share that lineup because what if it's...
I hope you're having a great weekend. Happy to answer your questions that you had. Your hotel will be blank in Playa del Carmen along with the other artists. Here are a few confirmed names. I blurred out the names that haven't been released. All's good. I'll send you an agreement. Okay.
Changed. I don't want to throw these artists under the bus. But thank you for your generosity in giving me the lineup. That may or may not exist. I guess we'll find out soon. Moral of the story is always ask questions. Doesn't matter if you're the smallest DJ in the world or the biggest. Make sure you're safe, you're protected, know your rights, make sure people pay you up front or at least half. I realized he didn't even tell me what my hours would be or my days. So who knows? What if I had signed up to DJ for 8 hours a day? You just gotta ask a lot of questions. It's important. My journey in this story was short, but I will just provide a little.
Okay, someone else brings this up. Okay, it says the offer expires March 13th, 2024. You know they did that on purpose to get out of stuff legally. It does. Oh my god, I missed that. That's crazy. All right, yeah, so she just completely missed that part. Interesting. I wonder if that was on purpose, so that even if you sign the offer, it's like, oh, this offer already expired. We're actually paying you nothing. New scam email. Will you perform at Fyre Fest? Dude, I wonder if I should DM them being like, I'll perform at Fyre Fest. Like, I'll do it. For any amount of money. What will I perform? Doesn't seem like you're in a position to be asking me that. It seems like I have the upper hand in this negotiation, sir. I'll perform something. For a grand total of a flight, a hotel, and at least $20. and free alcohol. I will perform a stream. Yeah, I'll stream live from the stage at Fyre Fest 2. Dude, I want to go now. I want to be in Playa del Carmen during that weekend just to see, dude, just to be a fly on the wall. I want to do some investigative journalism, dude. I want to go to these places. I want to interview. I want to talk to the hotel. I want to talk. I want to fly there, dude. I want to go to the site of the action and do some on the ground journalism. Damn, maybe I should DM Billy and be like, "Yo, dude, can I get a free ticket like those two gullible kids on the news?" I wonder if they're gonna push the date, or I wonder whenever this is getting canceled, right? This is gonna get officially canceled at some point, I'd imagine. Anyway, I can't believe her Fyre Fest videos didn't go more viral. This video, the one where she's talking about declining the offer, only has 450K views. That's like, I would have thought this would be like 3 million views. The part 2, 76K, 45K, and then this one, not even 10K. I would have thought it would have gotten much more views. She's got a decent sized following. I'm shocked that they didn't perform better.